what they are calling revival is not real. It's our everyday walk here. It's our daily bread. So to credit, when I started the series on revival, I said this statement. Maybe you should go back. I said this statement. I said, if we use the word revival for all simple moves that are huge in God's brain, and God's mind, and God's spirit, and God's ways, that are huge to us, but for anything that God is doing, we call it revival, we will never experience a revival. They didn't get it. And look at the revival I'm aiming at, because I was saying, revival is already happening now. That was the message. Maybe they forget. I said, revival is already what is taking place now. It's already happening. That thing that is happening in Europe where two people move from a wheelchair and they say, film it, this is it. I said, that is not revival, because it's happening in Africa every day. Our ushers are doing it. The protocol team can do that. Amen. So it's all over the place for you to call it a revival because you pointed the camera at something. So I said, this revival has nothing to do with what they call revival. It's a personal revival. Yes, sir. You notice I did not say it's a church revival. It's a personal revival. It starts in your house where you revive your spirit. You rejuvenate it and move. So I redefined what revival is in this revival. They got it right?
Yeah, they got it.
So I was dealing with you. If you notice when we did a series on fire on the altar, I called it a personal prayer revival.
Amen.
I'm looking for people, individuals, to do revivals. Not the revival that is espoused around the world where they intimate that is the revival that will take these people and these people. No. I said personal. You come from your house, revived. You get into church and you infect others. And people are talking. Bara, you walk in the street, you heal the sick. I didn't call it revival the way they are calling it a revival. In the sense of let's meet in this hall, and then we record ourselves, and people come from all over the world and get into one location. That's the revival they are working. That's the revival that I said is never going to come. For example, the revival that they call the Azusa revival was started by black men. Do you notice that the black men never featured in God's generals? Because they said God's generals, he is there. He is there as a catalyst. He is not called a general, a black man. Yet he's the one who started this.
Wow.
So why should I be endorsing that? And when you see the people that I put there, wonderful, it is Robert Lydon did the best he could do. And I'm telling you, I've met him, very wonderful guy. But let me tell you one thing. Where is Gwanzura in that book? What happened to Gwanzura, who made the crocodiles come out of a river? The crocodiles, he wants to baptize, the crocodiles come out. They told him, you can't baptize us there. We are born again, yes, but we can't get in there because they are crocodiles. He said, wait here. Crocodile, he called it with the mother, the father, line up, come out of the river. He said, baptize. After baptize, the crocodiles were enjoying the sun bathing. He said, crocodiles, come back. Go back to your house. And the crocodiles turned and got in there. Where are those people? What happened to them? What happened to Samuel Mutendi? Who told them that within 3 days, after I die, 3 days, if you don't see a star coming here, or you don't see a sign from heaven that will drop to earth here, leave all your children, live with your children. I'm a false prophet. I was never sent. He died. First day they waited. Second day, then they were like, what is that? A star began to come. Around 8, arrive. Boom, shining, dropped to earth. Hear this. Dropped to earth. Yeah, you get it. Dropped to earth. Guess what? As it lifted, they looked in the center of the star. It brightened and broadened. They looked in the center, and they saw Samuel Mutendi with his staff inside the star. And everyone was slain under the power. We're talking about hundreds of people looking at it. And they're still, the witnesses are still there to this day. Where are they in God's generals? Where? The last message he made, he would sit down and look up at heaven, sit down, look up to heaven, sit down, and he preached. I finished the race. I'm about to be taken. I'm being poured out. The last message. A man ran with money and said, no, I'll buy even a wheelbarrow. Even if we have to push you in a wheelbarrow. He said, I will not need a wheelbarrow, but you shall need it. The man passed on just a few years back, and they pushed him in a wheelbarrow. No, they didn't get what I'm trying to say.
Oh, God.
Where are these guys? So they researched only their white folks.
Not black.
And they told you that was revival. Nobody came here. Where is Babalola and God's generals? How they opposed him. He said, just as in the days of Dathan and Korah, open this and let the people fall in now. And people fell in. The ones who were opposing him fell in. Except one big guy who was fat like this. He couldn't fit. He said, you are safe. No, he ran. And he said, you tell the others what you saw here. Where are they? You have rocks there that the men knelt down in the rock and made prints in the rock with his knees. I told you that time they went to pray. I don't remember when they went to pray. Imagine someone going to pray on Monday and say, let's just do a few hours in prayer. They prayed. They waited. They went back home. And then when he said, let's do a little bit, like an hour. When he came back, he said, I'm sorry I had gone for longer. Did I go for longer? They said, it's 3 days. The men didn't know he did 3 days. He thought it was an hour. Then he said, what about the food I left you? And that's when they realized they were eating one loaf for 3 days. Finishing it and it coming back. Said, you eat this while I'm there. When you get hungry. It never got finished. And I'm giving you just a snippet. What about the realities of it? How many people? 1 year here, we had what? About 37 people recorded people who were rising from the dead.
Yes, sir.
How come we're not in the books? How come we're still talking about Babalola? We're still talking about these people. We're still talking about generals who went home together. They were powerful, but there's still people doing it today. But we also, do you know what they said when Idahosa died? Papers came out. People came out to say the witch is dead. Now we act as if this was the general. He had no spot, no wrinkle. They didn't oppose him. No, they fought him. When he bought his first bike, when he bought his first Mercedes-Benz, they said he's a thief. That's humanity. You only see men of God when they die because you are sons and daughters of witches. So your grandfather was a witch, your great-grandfather was a wizard, your grandmother was a witch, whether your great-grandfather was a wizard. So now, all you think is anyone with power more than my grandmother is a witch. So you don't honor men of God until they leave. That's when you know how important they are.